What's good, y'all? It's your brother Key. And welcome to my workshop. Today's a kind of difficult kind of day. Awesome. Alright. Alright, so yesterday I was incapacitated. I have been dealing with a situation that I've never dealt with before. Taking care of my grandmother, just being on standby. And it's teaching me the... Well, let me set this timer, y'all, so I could get my thoughts together. The past few days has been a little weird, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I don't even want the timer, I'm gonna just vent. The past few days has been like kind of weird. I haven't been able to go to the gym for the past 2 days because my back has been hurting. I'm not exactly sure if it had to deal with the bicycle workout that I did, probably. But also I was just very tired. My sleeping pattern has been all discombobulated. And I just keep asking God, like, how can I balance what I have so that I can execute and make sure that the things that I have in my life don't go to waste, or more so just have like a sense of urgency, but at the same time not rush things. Like, and that's what I'm here to talk about today, like balance, but like learning the type of balance that is divine. So one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie, is The Matrix. It's funny how my favorite movie and my favorite book is kind of like the same. My favorite book is The Alchemist, and my favorite movie is The Matrix, right? And both have to do with a journey. The protagonist is somewhat lost in their identity, and then they find themselves moving throughout life when a new purpose is provided to them because they just feel deeply to do something better. The past 3 days has been very impactful. Not really like with my bad habits or whatever trying to take me down, nothing like that, but more so I've developed enough in my mind and in my spirit to make decisions. And also I've also developed spiritually enough to be aware. And I think I'm a little overly developed in that area in a supernatural kind of way. And I live with my family, my grandmother's house specifically. And throughout the past few days, I've been very, like my mind has been on the ritz. Like I want to get stuff done, but also I'm like seeing like, yo, like there's a pace when it comes to life. So my grandmother has like early stage dementia or something like that, right? And yesterday and today were very aggressive days for her, like to the point where today she didn't recognize me. Yesterday she was just frustrated. And I was here with the home health aide that like I have on standby, like we got family here, well, to help with the fam. And it just kind of was playing on my mind a bit because it felt like a new fear was unlocked. Like, like really, like a new fear was unlocked. Like I'm thinking in my head, like, yo, like my grandmother's in her 80s and she's having dementia. Like, it's wild how like there's certain parts of, like, I've been through physical pain. I've also been through emotional pain or emotional confusion, had like identity crisis, like, and I was thinking while I was interacting with her, especially yesterday, the scariest thing that I could probably think of is forgetting the people that I love, or just being in a loop, because I'm aware, like I have a high awareness, and it would be scary to be in a loop and not know how to get out of it. And sometimes I feel like that's how I am here in this house. Like even though I'm trying to get myself up and just leave, it just seems like I can't. But here's why having God is so important. So many times where I just feel down or weak, God just seems to show up, or like the God in me seems to show up, right? Since I'm a reflection and a child of the Most High. Today, like when she was having a very tough time and, you know, she kind of got a little aggressive, I was sitting down, like I kind of broke down, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like dropped a couple tears 'cause I was like really sad. Like I was like, Granny, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help you. And she was just screaming, like flaming. And I sat down and I'm like in a foyer, like kind of like in between two doors to prevent her from like going to walk down the street and prevent her from like just running around the house and having like a difficult time. And while I was sitting there, God spoke to me, but also I said this to myself. I'm the only one that has the capacity to do this right now. I'm that one grandchild, even though she is a great, I'm like the only grandchild that's like here and like as close to her as I am. And a few years ago, God kept showing me like that I would have to be the one to be close to my grandmother during her time of difficulty. And I didn't really want to, how could I say, like just think about it like, yeah, it's me. Like there's plenty of times where I was going to leave. Like I was just going to up and dip and just like run away. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Like every time I was about to, like, it felt like my spirit and my mind and my soul, everything was like, you're not done here. Like you can't just leave your family. Like at any time I would have conversations with people and they'd be like, yo, what do you do? The first thing that would come out of my mouth with no hesitation or no ego is I take care of my family. Like when the pandemic hit in 2020, I was going to college and I had like a 1.5 GPA. And I got hired as a supplementary instructor, which is you need a 3.2 GPA or, yeah, I'm recording. You need like a 3.2 GPA or higher to get that job. And I got it. And I left in 2020 to get into a car, and it was me, my mom, my sister, and my grandmother. And I remember I was driving on the highway. I was so tired. I didn't even sleep that night. And while I was driving to Pennsylvania, like I was almost falling asleep behind the steering wheel, and my mom tapped me like, yo, like, wake up. And I woke up and I was like, and from like that moment, like the entire time that we was in Pennsylvania for that month or however long it was, like I was awake, like I was up, like I was getting up early. It's like that moment I got like tapped at like the steering wheel, I was not able to put my head back down. And that's how it feels like these days, like seeing my grandmother and just like getting older, being more mature, and my walk with God, and just learning how to be more aware and like really separating myself from my ego and becoming more consistent and just and responsible. Because when it's your time to show up and like your family needs you, or when you're needed, even if it's not your family or not, like when it's your time to show up wherever you're supposed to be at, are you able to show up? Because there was like today, literally today, I woke up, like I was up throughout the night, and I was gonna go to the gym, but I didn't end up going because my back was hurting, and I ended up knocking out. I fell asleep. I burnt some energy off, and that's what knocked me out, right? And I woke up, like I was hearing stuff. I got up out of bed, and I was hearing my grandmother like screaming my name, and I'm like, yo, what the heck? And I'm like, yes. And then like when I went to answer her, like it's like she called for me and she just ended up blacking on me. And the home health aide was like trying to say like, yo, she's having a moment, and I was like, okay. And I got out of bed in such a hurry, like I almost fell, like I almost slipped on like a piece of clothes and like busted my face open. I was like, yo, like, so I got up, I got dressed, and it was just a day, man. It was one of those days. But instead of me complaining or getting upset, I was thanking God. I'm like, thank you, God. I'm able to like be here for my grandmother and like help, you know, because it's a difficult time for her. And I was just telling her, even like while tears was falling on my face, I'm like, Granny, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help you. And she's like, I don't want your help. And I'm like, who are you? And I'm just like, I'm your grandson. Like, and I'm trying to bring her back too. I'm like, do you remember what happened earlier today? Like, you was happy, you was good, you ate, you know, you was in a good mood, like you was dancing. Like, I don't know how to deal with like this. Like, I've never had to deal with it. I've been around someone who's had dementia before, like, but it wasn't my family. So I'm just happy that I have the capacity and the patience. And it's like, while I was talking to her, there was a moment, I'm gonna say this, there was a moment where I did not want to, like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I came back downstairs and I was just sitting here for a moment, and then I heard the home health aide like calling my name, like screaming my name, and I went upstairs and my grandmother had her like grabbed up, and I'm just like, yo, I took her hands over her and I was like just holding her wrists because she started like getting crazy, and I'm just like, and I like pushed her like to sit her down like in a chair. I was like, please just like sit for a moment. And like, I had no socks on. She had on her shoes. She just started stomping on my feet, and I'm just like, yo, dude, this sucks, bro. Like, this sucks. This sucks. And after like 30 minutes or like 2 hours, like 2 or 3 hours of just like, I was just like, okay, like, I got this. I could do this. And I'm happy that I have the patience, and everybody has stuff to do, you know, like, and more times than not, I find myself serving people, you know, be that family or maybe a stranger, like an old man that's walking across the street or an old woman that's crossing the street, and I just happen to adjust my pace. If they're still in the middle and the light is changing and it's turned red, like, I'm standing in that street with them to make sure no cars run them over. Like, you know, if I see a kid getting bullied, I'll like crack a joke, or I'll walk in between like the crowd, I'll look them in the eyes and stuff, you know. If I see somebody that needs help, like a stroller or a door, like, it takes nothing for me to like just be there. And maybe that's my purpose. Maybe my purpose is just to be here. I believe that talking to people, preaching, because people always told me I need to be a preacher, I believe I'm a servant of the people to provide solutions. And though I want to make a lot of money and I want to have a nice car, a nice house, get married, and have kids, like, again, one of my biggest fears is like not knowing who I am or forgetting who I am, or something just terrible happening to me, like, and I'm not able to be mobile anymore. Like, but who knows if any of those things will happen? Maybe those things will happen to me. I don't know. But what I do know is I'm going to try my best anyway. I'm going to try my best anyway. And, you know, like, I heard my grandmother like just crying today, and it really messed me up. You know, I never heard my grandmother like crying like that. Like, she went from being very angry to crying. It really tore me up, like, for a moment. It didn't tear me up. Let me say that again. When I was crying, I was torn up. But when I was hearing her cry, I was like, kind of just like, I had no emotion, which is very weird. So I don't know why I said I was torn up, because I wasn't. I was just like, I wasn't happy, I wasn't sad, I wasn't concerned, I was just listening. Like, she's been through a lot, you know, and she was in that moment just in pain. And dementia is when I guess you're changing realms of thought. And maybe, like the things she was saying, I'm pretty sure that at one point in time my grandmother was really going through it, and she needed help, and she went back to that place, and the way she was crying and the things she was saying, I was like, wow, like she's been through some pain too. So maybe I might make it to the gym today, maybe not, but I just wanted to come on here and talk to y'all. I told y'all that I wouldn't miss a day unless I was like incapacitated, and the day yesterday was so draining that I woke up literally 11:55 p.m. Like I passed out and I woke up at 11:55 p.m. And I looked at the clock. I said, "Oh man, I'm gonna miss this video," but it happens. I said that in the beginning. I would do under 10 minutes. I've broken 10-minute barrier. I would do only outside. I'm inside my house, and I wouldn't miss a day, and I missed a day, but I'm still keep going for the next 2 years. You know, because it's not about making sure everything is perfect. It's about continuously moving forward. Just consistency about moving forward, because life goes this way. Either you go this way with it, or you think you're not, and you're still moving, but you're just moving incredibly slow. It's like move with life, and that's what I'm doing. Even though like seeing my grandmother in this state and figuring out my own life, you know, my finances, my calling, and I believe I know what my calling is now. It's just now, it's just being okay with it, you know. So yeah. And in closing, God is truly in control, but something I've been thinking about, and I urge you to think about too. How much is actually in your control? How many opportunities do you get to be in control of the situation? And if you are in charge of certain situations, not all of life, but in certain situations where you can actually pivot and make a move and adapt and adjust and capitalize, would you do it? If it demanded everything out of you and it was uncomfortable, would you do it? That's what you should ask yourself. So, thank y'all for coming through. This one was a little heavy, but I'm so grateful, because without my grandmother I wouldn't be here. So of course it's nothing for me to be there for her. So I came from her womb, and she is a great grandmother. So it is my duty to be there, to be here, to be aware, and make sure that I do something. So thank you all for spending time with me and listening, and be there for your loved ones and the ones that was there for you, and you know that contributed to your creation, your DNA and your genetic makeup. Love your parents the best that you can if you have the opportunity to. All right, so subscribe and all that good stuff. Comment down below, and go get that free ebook that I will post in my description that I just released a few days ago. It is free. You can pay if you want to. The option is there. Donations is there for me to make more, maybe make a physical version. But the first one I put out there is for y'all, and I have more downloadable PDF content coming out very soon. So appreciate y'all for being here. I love y'all. Stay blessed and less stressed. Go attack your destiny and be there for those that you can be there for, and be great in your life. And maybe you might be able to be great in someone else's. Peace.